Good morning, everybody. We are in Portsmouth. We're having such a fun day, my heart is. So we are going to do a tour around the cities. We're going to do our CARPOOL consultation with our special guest, Dr. Paul Kalra, consultant cardiologist at the Queen Alexandra Hospital here in Portsmouth.
Okay, should we go?
Shall we go?
At last.
At last. So we're on our way, Paul.
Excellent.
We've finally made it. We've had one or two little technical difficulties, you may say, today.
Thank you, GoPro. Thank you, GoPro.
But we are on our way. We've got Paul's music going, so we're going to have a good time. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about what you do here at the Queen Alexandra.
Right, so I'm a consultant cardiologist. I'm a specialist in heart failure management. So I've been a consultant for just under 13 years, and during that time we've worked hard to set up heart failure services in Portsmouth, both in the trust and across the community, with a combination of doctors, specialists, nurses and other allied healthcare professionals.
So quite an impressive team.
Yeah, we've got a big and expanding team. There are always challenges to ensuring that we provide the best service. So we're always, trying to take things forward.
What made you do cardiology, Paul?
Actually, when I started in medicine, I remember my first jobs as a house officer, and it was the area that really, just really captured my enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And really on the grounds that you see patients presenting acutely, and actually it's an area where there's so much you've got to offer, and see the rewards of that in terms of people's conditions improving. You've got the chronic disease such as heart failure, and again getting to know patients and having the privilege to spend time during their journey with them, and hopefully helping them cope with their condition and improving it. And then there's some practical natures as well. There's the practical skills of doing procedures, and that's what differentiates it from most other medical specialties.
Yes, yeah. So, and I think maybe a lot of patients and carers will be interested to know just how long it takes to actually train to be a cardiologist.
Yeah, so now there's 4 years, having been a medical school, which is usually 5 or 6 years. There's 2 what are called foundation years, and then 2 years of core training before going into specifically cardiology, and then that's another, again, probably 5 to 7 years of training, with many people doing higher degrees, PhDs or MDs as well.
That's a massive level of training.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's absolutely incredible.
And it's interesting, so cardiology is now becoming then super specialised into cardiologists that do angioplasty, so treat heart attacks, for example, with stents. You've got heart failure has become a subspecialty of its own devices, which again is a key component to the management of patients with heart failure, electrophysiology as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, and like myself, who's been doing cardiology for so many years, but yeah, I mean, it really has changed for heart failure patients, hasn't it?
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
I think the last 30 years has been major developments that have resulted in the improvement of care treatments that are available. And actually 2017 is the 30-year anniversary of the first sort of major trial in heart failure consensus that looked to show that ACE inhibitors improved outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed so much, and I think it's not just the tablets, it's not just the devices, is it? It's all the supportive services for heart failure patients that are now available, aren't they?
It is. So that's a very, very good point. So we've seen huge improvements with the incremental benefit of drug therapy, of device therapy, but much is the strategies of delivering the care as well, and the multidisciplinary teams of working with patients, empowering patients, providing the greater level of education and support around the condition. And I think that has been a a major change, particularly the last 10 years, although a long way to go still.
Yes, yeah. I mean, yesterday we had a couple of cracking heart failure nurses in, and you know, they've made such a difference, and our patients say about the heart failure specialist nurses having made such a difference to things as well, because the tablets have come along, the devices have come along, and it's often the heart failure nurses are implementing particularly the medication, aren't they?
Yeah, very, very much so, and and you know, what a big challenge that remains is having equitable access to healthcare services, to specialist heart failure teams, and that is a big challenge still. Providing that in hospital, ensuring that all patients that are admitted with heart failure are seen by expert teams, but also then out in community working with patients closer to their homes, and there's such a varied access to those services, whether patients remain in them in the longer term, for example, have access to that, or whether there are huge delays in getting into that, and that's something that, you know, we all have to work to try and improve that.
So if you're thinking, so that's been the last 30 years, where do you see things going, Paul, then in the next 10 years?
So I think what is very important is to not sit on our laurels in terms of the treatments that we've got available. We want to be aspiring to improve that even more than what we've seen to date. And an example of going forward, which I'm very proud of, in the United Kingdom, we've got a huge interventional study looking at intravenous iron in heart failure called Ironman, which I'm actually leading, supporters funded.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. That's just been funded by the British Heart Foundation, and this is a study that will go on for the next 4 to 5 years, but we hope will shape not just UK management of patients with heart failure, but international practice, and hoping that this will help improve both quality of life as well as prognosis. So I think that's just an example of something that we need to continue committing to. But I think much of the changes over the next decade is trying to work to ensure that there's equitable access for patients, for diagnostic services, for all aspects of treatment, and in particular the heart failure nurse specialist teams, and other areas of the multidisciplinary team. There's palliative care, for example, there's expert pharmacists, and we need to embrace those, but make sure that whether you're in, you know, Portsmouth or any other city across the UK or small town, that there's the same ability to see those individuals is there.
That's really interesting, I think, because a lot of the patients that take part in the Facebook group with the Plump and Marvellous Foundation, they're always when there's anything new mentioned, it really generates a lot of interest, doesn't it, Nick?
Yeah.
Because they see that as hope.
No, absolutely, and I think that's crucial at all aspects of any chronic disease, is to be providing some hope. Not, you don't want to give it inappropriate hope, yes, but we all have to feel that something can be done, and something is on the horizon. And we've seen key changes even in the last 2 to 3 years that we're now able to offer as potential treatments. I must say that the engagement that I've had throughout my career with patients around research has been very positive, and I think most of the patients are very keen to participate and understand that some of the difficulties with research, that is, when you're trying to define if something is truly beneficial, that there's often a 1 in 2 chance of getting that treatment. But I think people are keen to see the bigger picture as well, and want to help everyone else over the forthcoming years.
Yeah. I think having a look at the analytics from our awareness page, which is globally the largest in the world in terms of engagement, and the most engaged posts on the Facebook page are around advances in research and in fact, not only just in medical devices and pharmaceutical products, but also in ways of thinking around care and pathways and who needs to be involved in the heart failure conversation. So hope is a really big thing, and it does become, it is quite intangible, but I think, you know, it's something that we need to focus on.
It is, and certainly I think in the last decade there's been much better involvement of patients in the setup of research. For example, in the design of studies, the way they're conducted, and that's of course fundamental, I think, and you know, it seems silly that that's only happened in the last decade, really, but that is now at the forefront of both research and innovation of technologies, and you know, that it needs to be embraced even more so.
So, after a flourishing career, what gets you up still in the morning, Paul? What is it that I'm going to start my day?
Yeah, I mean, there are many things. There's you know, from the work side, I think the pleasure is with what I do is the variability of what happens from the, you know, interesting discussions with patients. You know, even during a procedure, I do devices as well. You know, chatting about what patients have done in their life, what their jobs were. You know, what family are there. I love sport, and so we'll often discuss about football, cricket, or whatever. But so I think that is great. The components of the work that I do, the research, the work for the British Society of Heart Failure. But you know, outside of work, of course, there are the many things that contribute to me getting up. I'm very much a family man. I've got 3 young boys, 10, 8, 4. Lovely wife, and you know, I'm now, you know, having played a lot of sport, really enjoying, you know, seeing my children, you know, take up that mental and watching them play sport, spending time with them.
That's good. Got life sorted, Paul.
Yeah. Trying to get the work-life balance right. I mean, that is a challenge for many people, of course, and I'm not sure I've got it perfect by any means.
And I presume still having to do the odd on call.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've got a weekend coming up, so
yeah, and some great music, really different music. So why your choice?
Yeah, so I've thought obviously carefully about this, and used music from different parts of my life. So we've had Heroes by David Bowie, who was, you know, is probably my favourite artist. I've got I was the youngest of four children, and all I heard as I was growing up as a child was David Bowie, and Heroes is just such an iconic song of his. It reminds me, I used to play it to inspire myself before playing football, for example, and you know, there's so many of his records, you know, 30 to 40 year period are still contemporary. So that was David Bowie's. Second one would be Communards, and that takes me back to my university days. Actually, that was my I think 1986 first year at university, and just very, very happy memories of that time. Third, and perhaps a little bit more controversial, would be the Cerys Matthews and Space, the ballad of Tom Jones, and believe it or not, that was the first dance at my wedding.
Oh,
to Sean, who's from Wales, and the words are a little bit challenging because it's all about a couple trying to kill each other.
We won't go into that.
Little bit of a love-hate relationship, more love, but it was a bit tongue-in-cheek there, and we decided not to go for the sort of schmaltzy first dance, and went for that.
Although I agree with you on that one.
We did have Barry White first, my laugh, I think it was a second dance, and then finally, and this was a debate, is something about children, and this song that's playing at the moment is George Ezra, a Budapest, and
It's a beautiful song, this.
it is, and this brings back memories of several years ago driving to Cornwall for a summer holiday. It was superb, where we did quite a bit of surfing with my older boys, but and I was thinking about Wave After Wave, which was one of the records at the time, but my youngest child was probably 22 months at the time, and he's just speaking, but he's quite musical, and this came on, and he'd obviously listened a few times, and he suddenly went, doobie-doo, and kept on doing that through it, and it was just a beautiful memories of happy times. So I did get them validated by my children, so they approved
very
them.
Wise,
so,
very wise man.
But yeah, so just 4 different parts of my life, all equally happy.
Well,
you're not the only one that's picked the Communards.
No.
Right.
No.
This song, so it's obviously one of those, pivotal moment songs, I think.
Yeah.
And it's quite meaningful as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I was just wondering why you picked it. Anyway,
we're back. Actually,
yeah, we are.
At the Queen
I can't believe we're back.
I know we've
How
done
well planned that route was.
I was.
Drive
to the
round
minute,
Portsmouth.
actually.
I know.
So,
And I think the cameras have held out as well.
I think so.
Flashing lights still.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. So, Paul, thank you very, very much, because we know how busy you are, and for you to taking time out to do this morning, we really appreciate it. But I think the patients will find it really interesting, for what you said, and your insights into the world of heart failure from the clinician perspective. So I think they will really find that really interesting.
And also, it's about raising the awareness of heart failure.
Yes.
Period, to the general public and everybody, about how important it is to, if you suffer the symptoms, and what the steps are to trying to live well with heart failure. So
no, very much so. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been interesting for myself as well to have the discussions. But you're absolutely right. There's so much that can be done if we can identify it better.
Yeah, let's be positive about heart failure.
Absolutely.
By its word, failure doesn't inspire success. But we know if it's managed right, then we can have a positive impact. I think that's probably the phrase.
Very, very much so.
So I would like to thank Dr. Paul Kalra. I mean, it is a big thing for you to do this because of the amount of time that it takes, and it's taking a little bit longer today. But I think we've got a nice clean cut, and we'll produce something great for everybody on PMTV Live.
I think all the patients will most probably say, "Gee, what a nice guy. I wish he looked after me." So thank you very much, Paul.
Okay, thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Cut.